Welcome to the Forsyth County News Football Media Day, sponsored by Bryan Properties. I'm Derek Richmond, the sports reporter for Forsyth County News. Today we have an opportunity to dive into the minds of coaches and players as they share their expectations for the upcoming season and maybe make bold predictions. I'm joined by head coach Sean Corey and the Pinecrest Paladins. Hey coach, thanks for joining us. Tell me who you brought with you to represent the Pinecrest Paladins football program.
Absolutely. So these are three of our senior players, guys that have been with us a long time from middle school through high school. So it's been a blessing to kind of have all of them with us. Immediately to my left is Parker Locke, followed by William Riley, and then Jake Miller.
Now, when you think about the Pinecrest Paladins football program, what do you want to accomplish this year?
Our ultimate goal is just to play our best, right? We prepare to put our best effort forward on the field. We want to be great representatives of Christ in the way that we play. That's why people choose, schools like our school. And it's one of those things where we want to be good teammates. We also want to be good sportsmen. But we're going to play with grit, and we're going to play tough, and we're going to go out and be well prepared.
You're going to be well prepared. Last year, you guys averaged 30 points per game. How do you guys maintain that level of intensity, or maybe even surpass it?
A lot of great skill kids that we have the opportunity to get the ball to, right? That's the point, is get the ball in your playmakers' hands and let them do their job. And these guys do a great job of that, of making plays and even turning the most basic plays into exceptional plays. So we'll continue to work toward that.
Now, players come and go. What has made the biggest jump this year? Maybe either in the weight room or maybe on the film sessions or maybe on the field. What has made the biggest jump, according to your eyes, how your players perform?
They really seem to just enjoy each other. They really seem to, we seem to have a good time at practice. A lot of it is very serious, right, and intense in what we do, but a lot of it's cutting up too and just having a good time. They tend to treat each other like brothers, and I think the camaraderie and unity is what's going to lead to their ability to be successful on the field.
This for players, especially Parker Locke. Man, you've been all over the field last year when I watched you. You threw the passes, you defended the passes, you even caught some passes. Where does Coach have you lined up this year, and what can we expect out of you?
So this year I'm playing at receiver and corner. So I've been playing cornerback since I've started playing football, so that's something that I'm used to. Going to be fun. And then I'm excited to play receiver, use my speed, get outside, and just have fun catching the ball, having fun with my teammates.
What's new about the offense? Obviously, you know the plays before, but now you're playing a different role. You're catching passes. You're trying to get in the end zone a lot more than instead of running or throwing it. What's new about the offense this year for the Pinecrest Paladins?
I mean, honestly, there's nothing new. There's a basic game plan that we have, and we've stuck to it all these years. It works for us. People can't defend it, so we're just going to stick to what we do best and just throw the ball, run it a little bit. Okay,
now, William, it's your final year wearing that Pinecrest Paladins uniform. What individual goals do you have for yourself?
Personally, I just want to go get my heart out on the field and just play my hardest and grow in brotherhood with all my teammates.
Now, what has been the difference maker between last year's team and this year's team?
This year we lost a couple guys, and it's just the younger dudes stepping up and filling into those roles.
That would be the same question.
I agree with Will. We've had a lot of younger dudes really step it up this year. We have great team chemistry, like my coach said earlier. I think we're really going to perform as a unit this year.
Now, you say you can perform really as a unit. Is there an essential thing you guys really focus on this year to maybe translate to more wins or maybe get another ring on that finger?
Well, we're always working hard on the field, whether it's conditioning, drills. We're just always giving our best. And really, it's just the brotherhood we have this year. We work really hard to have a full squad of guys that love each other and support each other. And just that unity is going to take us further.
Now, you guys mentioned about brotherhood, but I know sometimes football can be a really dangerous sport. What's the toughest team that you guys had to go against on the football field? Maybe it's one-on-one drills, O-line drills.
The toughest team?
No, toughest teammate.
Oh, toughest teammate. I would say the toughest teammate, it's got to be probably Parker. We run a lot of corner and wide receiver drills, and it's just very competitive, and it's always a great matchup.
Now, for the people that haven't watched Pinecrest Academy football team, why should they buy a ticket to watch you guys?
We're great. We're exciting. We have a lot of very developed skill players, and they put on a show every Friday, so it's great to see.
I feel like people should come out. You know, we've returned a lot of receivers, and we've kind of had a chemistry with our quarterback, August. So I feel like it's going to be great, and we trust like our running game too. It's schemes, big games, you know, it'll be fun.
Yeah, like Will said, August has gotten significantly better since last year. He's really been able to air the ball out, throw it on a good target. And, I mean, it's just going to be fun watching us play. Explosive plays all around the clock. We're going to be throwing it deep, big plays, breakaway plays. It's just going to be electric.
Now, Coach, you've been at the Pinecrest Paladins football program for plenty of years. What do you see the difference between this year's team?
I don't know that I would say that it's a difference. I would say that they take the legacy that they were part of establishing it, and they just continue to build on that. These guys have done a phenomenal job showing up all summer, for example, like from the time we started in spring through the entire summer, of being present, of working hard, of being leaders in the weight room, of being leaders on the field. It's not necessarily something different. It's something that's continuously growing and improving and getting better.
Now, as far as the head coach, you know, you've seen your offense, you've seen your defense, you've seen your special team, you see a whole group of talents around you. Is there anyone who's going to make a big jump this year or have a big spotlight coming into this year that's not here and no one really knows? I would say a little hidden talent you guys have.
You mean individual guys or position groups?
Individual guys.
I mean, yeah, they mentioned August, right? He's going to be a sophomore as a quarterback, right? Jumping into the starting role as a freshman is always a difficult thing, but his arm is stronger, he's a little bit faster, his reads are better. You know, you and I have talked before about Michael Lynch, just such a big, tall target, a kid that we all know he does the hard work, but Mike is a lot of fun on the field, so there's a lot to that too. JP Orphis is a kid that's going to, play offensive line, defensive line, and a little bit of linebacker. I think he does a really good job as well. Joe Thompson, which it's kind of cool for Joe, and I don't necessarily want to bring up the past, but when I first started at Pinecrest in 2007, Joe's brother Rick was one of our running backs, and Joe will be our starting tailback this year and a starting defensive end. Joe's super hard runner, super tough kid, but yeah, there's a lot of pieces kind of all through what we do. These guys included as a huge part of that, as three of the offensive receivers that are starters, add Mike as the fourth starter, put Joe in the backfield, and then August at quarterback. And I feel like skill-wise we're in a really good shape. Our offensive line is constantly developing and improving, and so we see that too. Defensively, these guys make up the same secondary that they do as the offensive backfield. And so kind of across the board, we feel solid in every single position group that we have, and those guys that we mentioned we feel like are going to be a big part of helping us move forward. And then you have a whole group, our freshman class, check that. Our sophomore class now, the upcoming sophomores, are the biggest group in terms of numbers on our field, and each of those guys is finding ways to contribute, whether it be in special teams or as a defensive end or as a linebacker or a DB. And so all of those guys fill in, and so each of them are important in their own way. Keaton Neff will most likely really shine as a safety, and then he serves as a backup receiver to these guys. But as a backup receiver, if one of these guys need a break, Keaton just jumps in and picks up where they left off. So we feel like we have a little bit of depth, and we feel like we're each of our position groups, offensively, defensively, and special teams, are really starting to grow. So.
Man, the way you're talking, man, it sounds like you guys can go undefeated this year. But you did mention a lot of talents on both ends of the ball. Let's start on the offensive side of the ball. You mentioned August being another sophomore quarterback. How have you prepared him to mentally be there? Because I know a quarterback can be the toughest position on the field. Sometimes he can make a bad play. How do you make sure he stays mentality there and to focus on the next play?
August is tough as nails, first of all, right? August weighs 130 pounds, maybe, right?
Oh,
he's not a big dude, but he will run and he will hit, and he's not afraid of all the decisions that he needs to make. August asks great questions, right? So he tries to constantly improve and understand. He did a lot of one-on-one work with Coach Cleata this spring to increase not just his accuracy, but the distance that he could throw, and increase his ability to make the reads. So that was a lot of progress for him there.
Now, can we expect any trick plays from the offense this year? Maybe a fake punt, or maybe, I don't know. Can we expect for the fans, like, oh my gosh, can't believe he just did that?
Because we're an option team, every play is a trick play, right? And I say that every year. No, I don't know. I can't say anything about the trick plays necessarily. The way that these guys execute our basic offense helps us be successful. And sort of like Parker said, we open ourselves up through routinely execution, right? We open ourselves up to big plays and explosive type plays. And so we've got the guys that can make those. It's just a matter of doing our job and executing our basic game plan.
Now, for the players, plenty of you guys play both ways. How does coach help you guys stay conditioned to make sure you're not on the sideline breathing for air? You're able to go to the next scenario.
So I mean, obviously, every aspect of practice is conditioning. Even when we're just doing drills, we're still, after you finish a drill, you're hustling back to the ball. You're not just walking, taking your time. But then also some of it can also be on us. We just got off of a 2-week break from no practice, doing nothing, and there's some very important to spend some of that time making sure that you're still conditioned and bringing yourself to be at that next level to perform. But I think Coach Core does a really good job at making sure that we're conditioned every day, and the drills that we do and the way that we do them, with everyone playing as many positions as they do, we're constantly moving around, so it's very difficult for one of us to get tired.
I feel like coach prepares us with like the intensity of practice. Our practices are pretty intense sometimes, and that we're constantly flying across the field, and prepares you mentally and physically for the game. And also our coaches do a great job of conditioning us in the weight room.
I agree with the other two guys. Part of playing both sides is that in practice you also have to practice for both sides. So it really just helps us be conditioned throughout the games in our season.
Now, is there anything people are underestimating by the Pinecrest Paladins? Like they're sleeping on you guys, or we're going to sleep on their offense. They're not really that good, or we're going to sleep on the defensive line. They're pretty small. What would your answer be?
I would say our line is developing very fast, and I think it could surprise a few people this year.
I think a few people look at us and see like that we graduated a lot of the defensive box, but we have a lot of younger people who stepped up and are ready to fill those positions and perform.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like every year, we're not always the biggest team or, the most players, the most depth in our positions, but, we're always fighting, we're always playing hard, even though there's only, this year we've got 25 of us, but everyone's always playing hard. They're staying they're playing their positions the way they need to, and we just don't really give up.
Now, is there a particular game you guys have circled on your calendar that you can't wait to play football against? Maybe it's on their home field, or maybe it's what they said to you, maybe a little trash talking, or something or you just rub you the wrong way.
No, I mean, there's no team in specific that I'm more excited to or less excited to play. I mean, I'm excited to play every game. I love playing football. But I mean, probably just mark the homecoming game just because it's a very fun night, very fun week, and just always electric with the crowd and the fans. So, yeah.
I'm looking forward to every game this season because, it's our last season as seniors and just making the most out of it.
I'm kind of going to answer the same as the other two. I'm really looking forward to senior night because as seniors, it's going to be our biggest night. But we're going to show out every single.
Okay. So you guys mentioned homecoming and senior night. What's the best place to go to eat after a big win?
I like Waffle House or Taco Mac. I can't lie.
I'm going to say Taco Mac. You go to Taco Mac and get the appetizer queso. It's so good.
I'm going to have to agree with Jake on Waffle House. That's probably the go-to spot anytime after any game or outing.
Now, Coach, probably have the answer to this. Coach, what assistant coach is celebrating the hardest after a big win?
Celebrating the hardest?
Yeah, what assistant coach is going crazy?
I think I need to phone a friend. Who would you say would celebrate the hardest when we were done with the group that we currently have? Probably Coach Lynch?
Coach Lynch or
Coach Lynch or Coach Binkley? I guess the two of those. Coach Gliotta has his own way of celebrating. I don't know. We really enjoy being with these guys, and obviously, you enjoy every win and every opportunity that you have. We have our coaching staff is kind of a younger group of dudes, and then two of us older guys, and I can't speak for Coach Gliotta because he's a pretty energetic guy. I'm probably not. the most excitable guy. I don't know if that's good or bad, but our young coaches do have a good time with what they're doing. They work super hard to prepare these guys and to prepare themselves, and so they get the opportunity to really enjoy the wins when they come.
Now, what's one thing you're comfortable of guaranteeing today about this team? Maybe better toughness or playoff appearance or best defense in the region or anything like that. What's one thing you're comfortable about confirming about this group of team this year?
That we're going to play the game the way it was designed to be played. We're going to respect the game. We're going to respect our opponents. We're going to respect our officials. We're going to show up every single day and do our best to be successful on the field.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from the Pinecrest Paladins Media Day. I'm Derek Richmond, the sports reporter for Forsyth County News. I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors and Poppin for letting us host this year's Media Day. We're signing out.